We're kicking off our fun old-fashioned family Christmas by heading out into the country in the old front-wheel drive sleigh to embrace the frosty majesty of the winter landscape and select that most important of Christmas symbols, Holiday Phosphorescence.
It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh. Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.
Hello, everyone. This is cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed piece of monkey shit Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me?
I'm Josh Cece, and if I do lay into you, it's best to just let me finish.
And why is the carpet all wet, Alaric Weber?
I don't know, Brian Lesh.
I almost did that.
Woo!
It's on my own. Perfect.
They set it up beforehand. This is a holiday.
Oh, no, it was just
Show business. Oh, what a business.
Wait, you can rehearse these things? Shit.
They coordinated.
That explains why my
improvising this whole time through.
That explains why my off-Broadway play went so badly.
Way off.
way off. It's in Arizona.
Broadway and Alvernon.
Yeah, this is Holiday Phosphorescence. We're doing Christmas movies. It's the podcast where usually we watch superhero movies, but for the Christmas season, we're humbugging it up and or unhumbugging. What's the opposite of a humbug?
Humbuggery.
A ham-bag? I don't know. But
A handbag?
is that the opposite of a humbug?
Judges?
This show is brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got bonus content there. We got Star Wars shows and other holiday shows. We've got music shows. We're going to be putting Jingle All the Way up there in a couple weeks for the holiday season. That one is only going to be on the Patreon. This week, though, on Holiday Phosphorescence, we're watching Christmas Vacation.
To be jolly, fa la 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 la.
After vacationing across America and throughout Europe,
Take it, Russ.
this holiday season,
La 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 la.
the Griswolds are going to play it safe.
Clark, we're stuck under a truck.
Oops. They're staying at home.
I give you the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Hope you're not getting sap all over your sweater, Clark.
All Clark wants is a quiet, old-fashioned Christmas. Sorry.
Got a little knot here. You can work on that.
What he's going to get is the gift that keeps on living.
Merry Christmas.
His family.
We didn't come to impose.
Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Do you sleep with your brother? Do you know how sick and twisted that is, Mom? Well, I'm sleeping with your father.
Have you got a kiss for me? You better take a rain check on that, Art. He's got lip fungus they ain't identified yet.
But no holiday could ever be more deeply touching.
We were gonna call, but Eddie wanted to make it a surprise.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
We're really gonna fly down the hill with this stuff.
So genuinely moving.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
More truly uplifting.
Can I show you something?
I was just browsing.
Or more down to earth.
Merry Christmas!
If Santa is smart, he'll stay well clear of this joint. It's a death trap.
Than Christmas with the Griswolds.
Everybody come out quick, look at the lights!
They want you to say grace.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
This year, let Chevy Chase light up your holidays. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all.
You crack up.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, released December 1st, 1989, with a running time of 97 minutes. It cost $25 million and made $73.3 million. Chevy Chase bringing home the big bucks for Warner Brothers.
He was in his prime.
He was
still in his prime.
Yeah.
Looked good. Didn't look so grumpy.
This was kind of like the tail end of like Chevy Chase's reign as like one of the most popular like movie stars in America.
It's true.
Yeah, we'll go into that soon. But in the meantime, guys, you guys ready to play the box office top 10 game?
1989.
Boom!
I bet we can guess what movie's still holding on.
Oh, yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. That's not how the theme goes at all.
No, that's Superman.
Dun, 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 dun. I ripped it out for our theme. Yeah. Yeah, at number 14, holding in there, Batman. It didn't make the top 10, but it's in its 24th week. It's still
okay.
It's still up there.
It's still up there.
That's what, 24, that's 6 months. 6 months later, it's still making money.
I gave it a lot of money.
Yeah, it got at least, I saw it three or four times in the theater.
I was going to say, I think 3.
Yeah.
I think 3. Because I was a kid and you actually had to go somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Pay somebody.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't just pirate it.
Watch it.
Yeah. Well, you could pirate it, but you had to like sneak like a camcorder in.
Like Kramer.
Yeah, exactly. And in the 80s, they were giant. So, but yeah, this is the game where I'm going to describe the top 10 movies of the week of December 1st, 1989, and the fellas are going to guess it. We'll just jump right in here, guys. The number 10 movie of the week. Oh God. An orphan cub hooks up with an adult male. They should have phrasing. An orphan cub hooks up with an adult male as they try to dodge human hunters.
Grinder the movie.
Todd, what is this movie called? This is the Disney movie with the fox and the hound.
No, it is not animated. This is live action.
Oh.
Gentle Ben.
I think it is Disney. Definitely looks Disney. I remember
the bear
this.
Trap. The Barrett Trap.
You almost had it, Josh. It's just the first part of what you said.
Bear.
The bear. The bear.
No BJ, just the bear.
Yes.
He's finally on his house.
Wait, so a cub and an adult? And
bear.
It's called The Bear?
It's called...
Is it an adult bear?
The Bear. I remember when this came out. It's just a live action movie about a bear. It's just
or
about
bear
a bear
propaganda.
Yeah.
I've been keeping notes.
Well, I can't wait for the sequel, Cocaine Bear.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's
on my list of nightmares.
At number 9.
That I didn't know I had.
Right.
Sorry.
At number 9 this week. Oh God, this movie. Okay, I forgot about this. Everybody forgot about this. While his mom recovers in hospital from a heart attack, John puts his busy life on hold to fly home and help his elderly father around the house. John's son later joins them, and they all truly bond for the first and tragically final time.
Is Jackie Gleason in this?
No. You're the Tom Hanks Jackie Gleason movie, but it's got that same kind of vibe. This is Jack Lemmon, Ted Danson, and is that Ethan Hawke? Maybe.
Go in.
I don't know. I can't tell who the
with
kid
your
is.
Hawk vision. The freshman, the sophomore.
No, it's got a one-word title. It's
Bear.
Dad.
It's called Dad.
Yeah.
Jack. If I remember correctly, this is super depressing because Jack Lemmon dies and Ted Danson is like, it's the first time him and his dad ever got together.
Well, I think it's like from dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
I remember
yeah.
quick, so.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah.
How do you not remember Ted Danson?
no.
Science.
How do you not remember Ted Danson?
Tell me. Show me the way.
Sounds like a question you'd ask me you're torturing someone.
Like, how do you talk to an angel?
Tell me. How do you not forget? Okay.
At number 8, a farm girl nurses a wounded reindeer she believes is one of Santa's, hoping to bring it back to health in time for Christmas. Her holiday spirit inspires those around her, something her disheartened father is having trouble understanding.
Yeah, Prancer.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're really not skimping on the descriptions this week. The tagline is, something magical is about to happen.
That's the beginning of every sex tape.
Right?
Speak for yourselves. Mine are not magical.
Yeah.
At
Milk Toast. The sex tape.
At number 7 this week, a canine angel, Charlie, sneaks back to Earth from heaven, but ends up befriending an orphan girl who can speak to animals. In the process, Charlie learns that friendship is the most heavenly gift of all.
All dogs go to heaven?
Yep. Don Bluth's All Dogs Go to Heaven. This was not...
I disagree.
Yeah. I have a couple chihuahuas that I'm questioning.
I've met some asshole dogs.
Yeah, some dog owners take their dogs with them to hell.
Absolutely. This was one that I feel like is when Don Bluth started kind of having misses. Like, he did like an American Tale and Secret of Nim, Land Before Time, and then he started getting weird with it.
Didn't he do the Billy Joel talking dog one too?
No, that was Disney.
It was Disney.
Yeah.
Oliver and Company.
That's right. Oh my gosh. At number 6 this week, after a single career-minded woman is left on her own to give birth to the child of a married man, she finds a new romantic chance with a cab driver.
Jesus, a modern retelling.
This was a huge hit. It was John Travolta's only real hit since the disco era.
Look Who's Talking?
Look Who's Talking.
He was a cab driver, that's right.
Yeah.
Because she's giving birth
She gave birth in his cab, that's right, yeah.
To a little Bruce Willis.
He's like, yippee-ki-yay.
He's all die hard, born hard.
Oh yeah, it's weird that it's weird that they were both in Pulp Fiction later. Huh.
Remember that
I just
baby
realized
movie?
Bruce Willis was the voice of the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot that completely.
Yeah, could you was Pulp Fiction just a sequel to Look Who's Talking?
Yeah, kind of. There's a lot of those moments with Look Who's Talking.
Number 5 this week. This is a crazy list, by the way. At number 5 this week, a princess makes a Faustian bargain in an attempt to win a prince's love.
Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. That could, yes. I'm not going to say anything. There's no reason to bring up the new Little Mermaid.
I just want to talk about the old Little Mermaid. That's what I want to talk about. Let's do some Disney princess movies at some point, guys.
It can go on the list. Golden era of Disney would be interesting.
Exactly. This is the one that we grew up with.
Yeah.
So let new children grow up with one. Who cares?
Yeah. It's fine.
I have a Little Mermaid lanyard that I use for my work ID.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you're a part of their world.
The new ones, I don't know. The live action Disney's, I don't feel like they add anything that the old ones had, but there's nothing wrong with them. Disney's got to make money somehow. Come on.
They got people to feed, yo.
Yeah. At number 4 this week. During the 1930s, a New York City illegal gambling house owner and his associates must deal with strong competition, gangsters, and corrupt cops in order to stay in business.
Gambler.
No, this is I forgot about this. This is an Eddie Murphy movie. It was one of his first misses, and it's the only movie he made with Richard Pryor, I think.
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights, yeah. Harlem Nights. Getting to the end of Pryor's career there. At number 3, Jesus Christ, this list of movies. A young beautician, newly arrived in a small Louisiana town, finds work at the local salon, where a group of women share a close bond of friendship and welcome her into the fold.
Shelby, drink your juice, Shelby.
That's right.
But what is the movie called? Because it's not Fried Green Tomatoes.
No,
That's all that's popping into my mind.
Not Hope Floats. Fuck. What is
Starring
this movie?
Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, Daryl Hannah, Olympia Dukakis, and Julia Roberts. It's
not Mystic Pizza. What is this?
It's
Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias.
Yes, Steel Magnolias. Yes.
Weepy woman movies from the late 80s and 90s. That's another genre that would be fun.
I would love to do those.
All those ones we mentioned, Fried Green Tomatoes, Mystic Pizza, Steel Magnolias. Like, yes.
Just 4 white guys takes on drama made for women.
We might
written by other white guys.
Yeah. Brian, the world doesn't have enough white guy takes.
When are we going to get our chance to give our opinion?
Right.
I just want to talk about Fried Green Tomatoes, man.
You know,
every
time I think of the 30-year-old Simpsons joke, I'm a white male, ages 18 to 44. Everything I say is important. Nuts and gum.
Everyone likes what I like.
Yeah, nuts and gum together
at last.
Yeah, together at last. At number 2 this week. How the fuck do I describe this without giving it away? Oh, God. Okay. A sequel to a very popular film. It's an adventure, and it's
Last Crusade or something.
No, but that's the right kind of movie feel.
Back to the Future Part 3?
2. 3 didn't come out until the following year, but yes, 2. Part 2, yes. Marty and Doc, they're going back to the future.
Marty!
And number 1 this week, the Griswold family's plans for a big family Christmas predictably turned into a big disaster.
This was the biggest movie. That is still crazy to me.
Chevy Chase, man. Vacation was a huge franchise. Yes. Chevy Chase was a huge star. Like, I know he's made fun of now and considered like a big asshole, but like he was the most popular SNL alum, period.
And the physical holiday movie is now kind of a worn out trope, but at this point
it wasn't
kind of novel.
I was watching this and realizing just how tropey the whole thing was. With Jude, and Jude was like, well, so this is like every Christmas movie. And I was like, well, no, because every Christmas movie is ripping off this Christmas movie, like the bumbling family dad Christmas movie.
The comedies, yeah.
This is what they are
Christmas
riffing
with the clumps or whatever
yeah,
they're called.
They're
Christmas
all riffing off
cranks.
They're all riffing off this Christmas movie.
And this movie, Jude's right. It's trope after trope because it's almost little vignettes.
Yeah.
Shopping is a part of Christmas. Relatives are a part of Christmas. Decorating's a part,
Yeah.
But it just tight 97 minutes, joke after joke.
Absolutely.
And essentially, John Hughes rewrote the first one.
Right. So yes, this
in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into the production. This was written by John Hughes, who wrote the first 2 vacation movies. Also, he wrote National Lampoon's Vacation and European Vacation. He was a National Lampoon writer in the 70s.
Yes.
And he wrote the first National Lampoon movie, National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Well, that wasn't the first one. That wasn't the first one, but he wrote National Lampoon's Class Reunion.
Animal House was the very first one.
Yeah.
But in fact, the first Vacation started as a series of articles that he wrote about taking road trips with his literal family. And they sort of morphed into the Griswolds.
Exactly. John Hughes, of course, is like his legacy looms large. I want to list off this run of movies he had in the 80s. This is John Hughes's 80s run that he wrote. He wrote all of these. Some he directed, but he wrote them all. Mr. Mom, National Lampoon's Vacation, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, European Vacation, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone.
Dang.
Yeah.
Shaped my childhood.
Yeah.
And you know what? His 90s aren't as well remembered, but they were just as successful. In the 90s, he had Dutch, Curly Sue.
Hey, Dutch is charming, actually. If you love Ed O'Neill, which I do.
Curly Sue, Beethoven, Home Alone 2, Dennis the Menace, Baby's Day Out, 101 Dalmatians, Flubber, Home Alone 3. The last movie he has any story credit on was Drill Bit Taylor, the Damon Wayans vehicle.
No, that was Owen Wilson, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. What am I thinking of?
He's like a homeless guy who agrees to be a bodyguard.
That's right. No, what's the Damon Wayans one where he was an army guy? That's the one I was getting.
Major Payne.
Major Payne. Okay, yeah. That's what I was getting.
But anyways, John Hughes. And can you believe that like streaming services and shit consider his movies like cult classics?
Right.
It's like yeah, I get what you mean because they're beloved, but like listen, that dude's resume. Like he was a mainstream badass writing genius.
He was probably the premier screenwriter of the 80s. Like
and doctor.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Along with Carrie Fisher, like those are two people that would take passes at scripts, notably.
Yeah. Those were just the ones that he has actual like credits on. Like the ones that he didn't, that he has no credits on that he like doctored is probably twice as long.
Probably.
Yeah, he some unproduced screenplays he wrote. Jaws 3, People Zero. That was going to be his Jaws 3 script.
I remember hearing about that.
That's in the title.
That was his title for his Jaws 3 script.
People Zero.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, The Joy of Sex. He wrote a screenplay called The Joy of Sex in 1982.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. He in the 90s he had a bunch of ones that never got made. One just called The Nanny, but he wrote a How the Grinch Stole Christmas script, which never got made. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, his take.
Yeah. He wrote a Disney screenplay called The Bee, which was going to be a feature-length Disney movie that was going to be directed by Daniel Stern.
Was it just a live-action bee, like the sequel to The Bear?
No, but is it? It's a valid question because Mr. Bean just released a movie. Rowan Atkinson, his real name is Mr. Bean, about a bee. Like it's almost like Mouse Hunt. The entire movie is him trying to foil this bee.
Yeah, I
wonder if that's what it was like, Al.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a movie called Tickets that he wrote that never got made, which is just it's a One Crazy Night movie about teens just waiting overnight in line to get tickets to a concert. He wrote that in the 90s.
I love it.
Yeah,
that sounds like it could totally have a Linklater Slacker vibe. You know, the camera just going up and down.
Well, and he stopped
line,
and he stopped writing
conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And he stopped writing teen movies in the late 80s. So like it would have been really interesting to see his take on a 90s teen movie. But so yeah, it was John Hughes is really the author of this film. John Hughes and Chevy Chase, and because there's just Chevy doing bits, so Chevy's persona is really a huge part of the movie, of course. It was
I mean he probably deserves at least half, if not more, input to the character of Clark W.
Absolutely.
Even if the lines were on page and he didn't improvise, there's no way John Hughes could have written Clark Griswold the way Chevy does it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It was directed by Jeremiah Chechik, who also directed Benny and June, Diabolique, The 1990s The Avengers with the British guys doing British stuff.
That purple cat suit, right?
Yeah. And since then, he's mostly been doing TV, a lot of like Gossip Girl and that kind of shit. It stars Chevy Chase. I feel like we've talked about Chevy Chase before, but I can't think of what movie it was. Yeah, I just don't know. I cannot think of what movie it would have been.
We talk about Community a lot.
We do, but I feel like we've talked about Chevy Chase.
Because we've talked about him being like, a blue blood from the East Coast and, like a real preppy kind of.
Yeah, like I cannot think of what it was.
A musician.
I'm looking through his filmography and like I can't find anything that we did an episode on. So I don't know what it was, but Chevy, he started on SNL. He left after the first year to become a movie star, basically. I mentioned I was talking about off air about the Dana Carvey, David Spade podcast where they mostly talk to SNL alums and people associated with SNL in some way. They were talking to Lorraine Newman on an episode.
Oh, awesome.
And she was in the auditions for the original cast. It came down to Chevy or Bill Murray, and they went with Chevy.
They went with Chevy.
Yeah.
That's true. He was supposed to be original, so it seemed like he joined the cast. What's interesting about Lorraine is that she hadn't been handpicked, and she wasn't a part of the Lampoon crew. She was a groundling and an East Coast or West Coast performer.
She was a founding member of the Groundlings. Yeah.
Right. As opposed to like Lauren just took the National Lampoon stage show and just took all those people.
The Lampoon guys and some Second City.
Well, a lot of them were, but like Harold Ramis was in the Lampoon, Gilda Radner.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. Well, and he continued mining that for years to come. I mean, that's how Conan O'Brien got on SNL because he was the editor of Harvard Lampoon.
I know people that that do comedy and improv at Second City and Improv Olympic, and they still do that. He still comes and watches showcases.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everyone knows, so it's like that waiting for government vibe of like, I've never been in the room, but I've had told, but yeah. Oh, Lauren's coming tonight. It's like, it should be a surprise, like a food critic.
The best part of that podcast I listen to is how constantly everybody on there does a Lorne Michaels impression.
Everyone has one. Almost everyone that's worked for him.
Dana Carvey's constantly doing it because he can't help. He just does impressions constantly. He's always on. But he was also, it was like Lauren's favorite thing apparently to say is like, we grew up in the wild and our children and became civilized. Our children grew up in civilization and are becoming wild. So what does that
all his nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah. Chevy, of course, he left SNL, became a huge star. He was one of the most popular movie stars in the world. He was like Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks level movie star.
And so many SNL since then members have tried to do that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them succeeded greatly, most failed. But he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
He was on the show for a year, and he's like, I'm going to make movies. And he made a string of movies immediately.
Yeah. So these were all huge hits. Foul Play, Oh Heavenly Dog, Caddyshack was that was a little more ensemble, so it wasn't really a him kind of movie. Under the Rainbow, which we never got the chance to do, which I would still love to, because I have childhood memories of that movie. Modern Problems. Vacation, Deal of the Century, Fletch, European Vacation, Spies Like Us, Three Amigos.
Spies Like Us, oh my God.
Yeah, that fucking movie, right? And then he started finally having Funny Farm was kind of where his star started to fade a little. Yeah, Funny Farm, Fletch Lives wasn't as popular or as good. Christmas Vacation, of course, was great. But then Nothing But Trouble, which was an insane fucking movie.
Yeah.
Memoirs of an Invisible Man. That's where he really started having some. Yeah. Then he started doing his like family family movies in the 90s. Cops and Robertsons, Man of the House, Snow Day.
He was funny in Snow Day.
Oh, sure. He's funny in all of these, but they started not being hits and not being as good of films.
Sure.
Now, we might have gone on a Chevy Chase tangent off of Memoirs of the Invisible Man because John Carpenter. We've done They Live.
Oh,
that's right.
They Live and
that could be.
That might be it. But Chevy these days is known as like the racist old asshole from Community. That's what the millennial and Gen Z view of him basically is.
He managed to fuck that up too. He had a talk show for half a minute, which is a universal joke
what
now.
Was it? 5 fabulous weeks of the Chevy Chase show.
3
fabulous weeks.
Yeah, the guy in Hollywood you least want to have a conversation with.
Yeah, no one wants to talk to Chevy Chase.
No, he's a dick. Notoriously, he just makes fun of you.
Yeah. Beverly D'Angelo as Ellen Griswold. Yes.
Looking great.
Might be no, not the first. I was going to say might be the first set of boobs I saw as a kid on screen.
In Vacation?
Yeah. Either her or Animal House. I don't know which.
Hers were the first where I was like, yeah, I want to see her boobs.
And then you did.
Yeah. I was like, cha-ching. Not just randos.
But her first film credit is in Annie Hall. 1977.
Oh, yeah.
She was, of course. Oh, we did talk about her before. She was in Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh,
Yeah, she was.
She was the love interest in Every Which Way But Loose. I forgot about that. Wow.
Beverly D'Angelo?
Yeah. She was Echo in Every Which Way But Loose. She was the love interest. We talked about it.
No.
Yeah, we did.
No, that was not her.
That was Beverly D'Angelo.
Is she still with Al Pacino? She was for decades.
She is currently not married to Al Pacino. Oh, no, she is. No, she's not. She's not. It says they broke up in 2003. So.
Oh, that long ago. Well,
the love interest in Every Which Way But Loose was Sandra Locke.
Yes.
Oh, not the the other one. The love interest for the side character for what's his face. She was
okay.
The hitchhiker.
What's his face's dad?
Sandra
right?
Locke looks like her. Who's dad?
Oh no, never mind. It's not for the daughter in this movie from Natural Born Killers.
Julia.
Lewis, yeah.
Yeah, Julia.
Because her dad was in Any Which Way But Loose.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah. So, yeah, Juliette Lewis as Audrey. This Audrey, third Audrey. I love...
Yeah,
I love the bit that the kids change every time and they don't even try to make them match up. They're different ages, different they don't even try.
That was a comedic choice that was fucking brilliant. Like it was a choice and they stuck with it. And it's fun because go ahead, please.
Oh, just like the second one you didn't really notice. It was this movie. That was just like, wait, is that a joke? Because
they're younger
because of the age difference.
Yeah, they switched,
movie, right?
Yeah, they switched.
Age difference.
Yeah. Russ used to be older than Audrey.
Original Rusty was older. European Rusty was older. This Johnny Galecki's younger.
Yeah.
Ethan Embry and whoever plays her in Vegas Vacation, I think they're the same age. But yeah, I love the switching up. Juliette Lewis is the best Audrey, though.
She's great.
Say.
She is a great
Anthony
Audrey.
Michael Hall is probably my favorite.
Oh, he's the best for us. Galecki's fun. But yeah, we'll get to Galecki. Yeah. So Juliette Lewis as Audrey. Her first film role was My Stepmother is an Alien. This is her second film role. But she, of course, comes from a Hollywood family.
Her dad was also in Every Which Way But Loose, like Brian pointed out. So the two people in this movie are connected to that movie.
Yes.
Clyde's got his fingers everywhere.
Exactly. 6 degrees of Clyde.
Yeah. Her dad is Jeffrey Lewis, who was basically the sidekick in a bunch of Clint Eastwood and Robert Redford stuff in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, he often played like the booze hound,
Yeah.
like the Otis type character.
Yeah, exactly. After, let's see, she made the next big role she had after this was Cape Fear, which is like that fucking I want to do that movie at some point.
Do you know she didn't know Robert De Niro was going to lick her face?
Oh, Jesus Christ! You need to be warned when Robert De Niro is going to lick your face.
I know people talk shit about Kubrick and Shelley Duvall, but like, yeah, you need to know if Robert De Niro is going to get close enough to your face.
If Robert De Niro's tongue is coming at me, I want a heads up.
I want 2 weeks notice.
Yeah. I have to put my
as is the norm.
I have to put my affairs in order. Oh God, yeah.
Sorry.
She was one of those like 90s kind of it girls.
Yeah.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Romeo's Bleeding, California, Natural Born Killers. And
we just
of course,
talked about her last week.
Mixed Nuts. Yes, indeed. Mixed.
And we mentioned she's making a comeback. She's in a few things right now at once.
She is. And of course Johnny Galecki, as we said, as Russ. This year's Russ.
This year's Russ.
Wait, is his name
year's model.
Galecki? Is his last name? Or is it
Galecki.
Oh,
okay. Johnny Galecki. Probably best known as was it David from Roseanne and Leonard from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
that's Leonard from The Big Bang Theory. I never watched The Big Bang Theory, but
he's the main guy other than Sheldon.
Yeah,
he's like the non-spectrum nerd in the group.
Yeah,
wow.
From what I understand,
I made the Roseanne connection, but I didn't make the more recent connection. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've never seen the show.
Big Bang Theory made this dude never have to work again. He was like making $1 million an episode.
Oh yeah, he's on
for
that
like
Friends
9 years.
Well, and Roseanne too.
Oh
Syndication.
God, yeah. No, Johnny Galecki is.
He played his cards right, man.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
You think he still gets checks for this movie too?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, probably.
It plays on TV.
Every year. I think TBS plays it like constantly.
Yeah.
If you're in anything, go ahead. Sir.
We've seen him before in Hancock.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Was he like a friend of someone or like a goon?
Yeah, not a main guy. Jeremy was what he's credited as.
Like an evil lawyer or something? I forget what even happened in
with his
Hancock.
vampire penthouse. Galecki.
He also his first he was in A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. I forgot about that movie.
I forgot that. Yeah, I think Michael Hall. So 2 Rusties, 1 movie.
No, wait, no, that was River Phoenix, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyways, yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah,
no more Galecki.
Yeah, Galecki. He was in the Mr. Bean movie, but anyways,
he was the bee.
He was Bean. Yeah, the bee in Mr. Bean.
Was that the Michael Bean, Mr. Bean movie? You guys didn't see the American version?
Michael Bean
playing
the
classic Mr. Bean character,
of course.
It's
worth a watch.
He was also in Prancer this year.
So
he's in 2 movies on the top 10.
He's having
Galecki makes the check glee.
He's like, everything's coming up Galecki.
Fuck bitches, acquire money.
John Randolph plays Clark Sr. John Randolph, like well-known character actor.
I thought he was E.G. Marshall. That's crazy.
He was the first Frank Costanza.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. But
thank God it didn't work out.
Yeah, because I mean, come on.
Because Jerry Stiller was a national fucking treasure.
Yeah.
Did he just do one appearance?
I don't know.
I think
I don't remember seeing him.
Well, and there was a different Mr. Seinfeld as well.
Yeah.
In the first, I think it might have been the first season, then they retooled.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he goes way, way back. He had a long career going back to the 40s. He was in The Naked City, and let's see, he did a run on Hawaii Five-0. So yeah, just character actor throughout the years. Diane Ladd played Clark's mom. That was weird. I forgot about that.
Mrs. Bruce Dern.
Yeah.
She's the mother to what's her name? Ellie Sadler. Her famous daughter,
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah. I was like, I forgot she was in this, and when she showed up, I was like, oh shit, Diane Ladd. But yeah, so she of course has a long career too. E.G. Marshall as Ellen's dad.
I knew he was in it.
Yeah. He was the president in Superman 2. That's the last time we saw him on this show. The one who kneels before Zod. And Doris Roberts as Ellen's mom. What is she? She's everyone knows Raymond.
Everybody
that's
loves
show.
Raymond.
I kept trying to remember what show it was.
Everybody knows Raymond. That would have been more appropriate.
Everybody has some sort of opinion on Raymond.
How long do you have?
Yeah, that's what she's probably best known for at this point.
IMDb has, so they have the known for at the beginning of the list of credits. The first one is Everybody Loves Raymond. The second is Grandma's Boy.
I love that movie, low key.
And the third is this one.
That's right. She's one of the roommates who smokes the bong, right?
She's Grandma Lily.
Grandmas.
They test the video games and stuff too. Yeah. It was a fun movie.
It was.
Let's see. Miriam Flynn as the cousin, and Randy Quaid as
international criminal.
Yes. International
wanted man.
International supervillain Randy Quaid as cousin
because he's wanted. He's a wanted man.
Don't forget that he was nominated for an award for playing Lyndon Johnson in 1987.
Okay.
He played Johnson?
He played Lyndon Johnson in 1987, yeah.
Wow.
Like, what should we do about Vietnam? Shitters full.
Yeah, and his Dennis, I wonder what Dennis thinks of Randy, honestly, at this point.
Or even Jack. Like, that's his Uncle Randy.
Yeah, Jack Quaid. Like, Jesus. You're like, oh, it's Uncle Randy again.
Look at this fucking guy.
I mean, I'm sure all of us have an Uncle Randy somewhere in our family.
I mean,
I have an equivalent.
What's funny is that Randy Quaid is the Quaid family's equivalent of Cousin Eddie, basically.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But yeah, Randy Quaid. His first movie was The Last Picture Show. Forget that he used to be like an actual actor.
Yeah, he was great in that, actually.
Yeah, he was. He was great in that. He was great in Paper Moon.
Did Hollywood destroy him, or what happened?
I mean, the rest of the Quaids are okay, so I have to feel
I think drugs.
He has the Homer Simpson effect. If he just keeps getting dumber over time.
Yeah.
He and this woman, I don't know if it's his wife, but she's also wanted. I think they got into drugs.
They definitely are.
Like
They definitely,
if not,
Just to give
I
him
mean,
the
like
benefit
bad
of the
ones,
doubt.
like meth or crack. Like, it seems like it's one of the. Dennis does coke. These guys do fucking carpet rocks.
The last movie he was in 2018, so he got a job at least in the last few years.
What was that movie?
It's called All You Can Eat. He played a character named Gordon.
Was it produced by the Daily Wire?
It seems to be like a little indie movie. But yeah, prior to that, like the last movie he was in 2009, Balls Out, Gary the tennis coach.
We've talked about him before on Independence Day.
That's right.
Having trouble. Was that our first monthly movie?
That was our first monthly movie. Yep. Independence Day. Wow. Yeah. So we got Cody Berger as little Rocky, Eddie's son. Ellen Hamilton as Ruby Sue. William Hickey as the great William Hickey as Clark's uncle. He was the voice of the doctor on Nightmare Before Christmas.
Dr. Finkelstein.
Finkelstein, yeah. He goes way back.
We brought it up last week, but he's great in My Blue Heaven.
Yes.
I believe he's in that.
Yes, he is.
He owns a pet store. His front is a pet store. That's right.
That's right. He was in the Jerky Boys movie, and he was in Major Pain. Hey, look at that. It's coming full circle. And Mouse Hunt. It's a flat circle. Anyways, and then Mae Questel is Bethany, Aunt Bethany. Another character actress going back years. She was born in 1908. I was working before talkies. She played Betty.
Working for a lot of things.
Yeah. She was the voice of Betty Boop in the old Betty Boop cartoons.
Wow.
You can hear it.
You can definitely hear it.
The little squeakiness.
Yeah.
Because she's hilarious and adorable in this.
Absolutely. And if you look at her old pictures, like her old flapper type pictures from like the 20s, she looks like Betty Boop in her youth.
My grandpa was Betty Boop
Giant
when he
head.
was around.
My mom
I
was.
I bet you he knew exactly who she was.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
She's probably a big time celebrity if you were, I don't know, a naval teenager.
I watched recently a quick interview with the cast of Always Sunny, and they talked about the old lady pianist from Nightman Cometh. The old ladies.
Yeah, she's great.
They were like 75 to 80% of what she said was improvised. Like her interactions with Charlie, and she's like, "You're rude," and you look like it was all from this 96-year-old.
That's amazing.
Ad-libbing lines.
We still are on the cast. This cast is stacked. Sam McMurray.
Wait, she was Olive Oil too?
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't see that, but that
sense.
totally makes sense.
Okay.
Sam McMurray as Bill, Clark's co-worker. Sam McMurray, another character actor extraordinaire. He was in Freaks and Geeks.
He was on the Tracy Ullman show. He was in that. He was in that rep company.
That's right.
My favorite is Glenn from Raising Arizona.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God.
I don't know, Glenn. I guess it's kind of funny.
He was in Addams Family Values, Sunshine State.
He often plays the slick 80s con man type, like what that 80s image of a slick talker kind of was.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. He was in every TV show ever, as far as I can tell.
Did he ever make it onto The Simpsons?
Wow, interesting question.
I don't know.
Because again, he was in that rep company, and half of that company got a job on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was the first ever guest star on The Simpsons.
Who did he play?
For him.
I don't know. Let me see.
Santa's little helper.
He played. He was Gulliver Dark, SNPP employee, and a Duff commercial voiceover. So he is the guy that did Duff, get Duff.
Okay. He was in one episode of The Tick with what's his name?
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton. He was the immortal in one episode. That's fun.
Yeah.
So Julia Louis-Dreyfus. As
another national treasure.
Yeah. As Margot Chester was the character's name. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
We got Seinfeld alum and Every Which Way But Loose alumni. This is the crossover event.
And she was on SNL too. She was on SNL the same season as Anthony Michael Hall, who played Rusty in the first one.
She met her husband on SNL, Brad Hall.
Yep. Yeah.
And he pops up every now and then, but I don't think he needs to work.
No, I have a sneaky hunch.
He has a golden goose at home.
Contessa Valentina.
We just
taking over the world with just her Seinfeld residual payments.
Yeah. We just talked about her on Black Widow. Then, of course, let's see, Nicholas Guest as Todd Chester, her husband in this movie. Todd.
John Hughes already knew what a joke. Todd.
He looks super familiar, but I'm looking through his filmography, and I don't know. I don't see anything that I really would have known him from. He
plays the perfect yuppie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, perfect yuppie. Absolutely. So then, of course, Brian Doyle Murray as Frank, Clark's boss.
What's hilarious is he's been working with Chevy since the stage show, the National Lampoon stage show, like before any of them were famous. So I bet their dynamic is pretty fucking interesting because, Caddyshack, all kinds of shit. Like, I bet that's one guy in the world that can tell him to shut the fuck up.
And I bet he does. Absolutely. Yeah. Brian Doyle Murray, man, Bill Murray's brother, Caddyshack, Scrooge, Ghostbusters 2, Groundhog Day.
Get a Life with Chris Elliott.
Yes, absolutely.
In fact, this character, the vitriol in his eyes when he looks at Clark, I just feel like that's natural. I feel like there's no acting.
No.
I feel like that's the way he looked because he's older than a lot of those guys.
I think he legitimately enjoyed being a dick to Chevy Chase.
Yeah, the contempt was real.
Do you think Bill passed him a little extra? He's like, here's a couple extra $100. Just be an extra dickhead to him today, please.
I don't think he had to.
Right. And Bill, it was a different situation. They were peers. It's like two buddies in a gang or two buddies in a club fighting each other. But Brian Doyle Murray had already earned chops.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, and he worked with Julia Louis-Dreyfus again. He was the Bubble Boy's dad on Seinfeld.
Moops.
No, you know what's hilarious is that was real. The Moops was an actual misprint on Trivial Pursuit. Yeah.
Yep.
So that rounds out our cast.
Mary, the attractive woman in the store.
Oh,
her last name is Scorsese, but I couldn't find any relation.
The one bit of trivia on IMDb is that she is not related to Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it is a common Sicilian Italian name.
Yeah, she was in not many good movies. So
what's funny is that most of my life I thought she was Paulina Poroskova.
Oh, huh.
The model, Rick Ocasek's wife.
Yeah, that's interesting because it was Christy Brinkley, right, in the first one.
Yes. So I thought it was another supermodel. Today, I'll admit it. Today, I found out it wasn't Paulina. Okay, that's the cast, though. You're right.
Yeah, that is our cast. Oh, and the parade announcer was Doug Llewellyn from The People's Court.
Who was the cop? Who was the chief?
Oh, the SWAT.
It was like if I had a rubber hose.
That's Alexander Folk.
Okay.
Yeah,
he looked like Family Matters. What was the name? Reginald Vell Johnson.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Also a Chicago cop.
This is his biggest. Let's see. He was also he was in Death at a Funeral. Fright Night Part 2, Naked Gun 2.5. I think he's has 3 lines in a ton of movies.
Right.
We do have reviews. We have reviews. 89. It has 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was reviewed by Siskel and Ebert.
Okay. All right. Wait, real quick, guys. Hey, thumbs up or thumbs down or mixed?
I'm going to say 2 thumbs up.
I'm going to say it's split. I think Siskel goes down and Ebert goes up.
Okay, that's my vote too.
Al?
That works for me.
It's just a fun little game. All right, let's see.
Chevy Chase tries to survive a family get-together in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's one of 5 new movies we'll review this week on Siskel and Ebert, and I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first film is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and unlike the other 2 films in this series, this one isn't even remotely funny. It also lacks enterprise. It's the only film in the series where the Griswold family doesn't go anywhere. They stay stuck in their suburban Chicago home. Some vacation. I only laughed twice out of perhaps 100 attempts at humor in this picture, and one of them was when Chevy Chase lights up his house with Christmas lights. There are a lot of lights. In fact, it looks like the sun is in that neighborhood. But other than that, the humor is all of the nerdy in-law, nerdy neighbor variety. There's no comic energy in the story. The Griswolds can be funny when they go on vacation, but not here when they stay stuck at home.
Well, I probably laughed more than twice, and I would probably give it a better review than you would, but I can't recommend it. And it seemed to me that what we had here were all the elements, and they just weren't quite firing. For example, when the in-laws turn up, they're not very funny, and they're not really differentiated, and they're not really made very interesting.
They're just standard joke in-laws, I mean.
Yeah. In other words, nothing is really done with them. And the whole business of how he gets trapped in the attic, you can see how that could lead to a whole series of physical gags, but really, they don't quite pay off. And over in the movie, I kept thinking, gosh, it's here. If they just give it that extra push, maybe it's the director or...
Well, I'll tell you, the director
just couldn't quite get it over the top.
It's a first-time director who comes from making TV commercials, and he doesn't make the transition very well. In addition, I really didn't like the film and felt disappointed in it because they can be funny on vacation. Why not take them on a trip again? It works twice. Why keep them stuck at home in one location? I thought of Cannonball Run 2, where they didn't have the energy or the wherewithal to take the people on a real cross-country trip. Yeah. Why not take these people on a trip?
I'm not sure that's why they didn't go on vacation here, but I wish the movie had gone a little bit more somewhere than where it went.
Okay, so 2 down. 2 thumbs down.
I think that was Brian. 1.
I said 2 thumbs up. I was I was way wrong.
So I mean, is it just me, or did Gene Siskel always misunderstand the conceit of any film he was watching?
Every time.
He's like devil's advocating.
He wanted them moving around. And he didn't understand that it's a vacation. The kids are out of school. He has some time off.
Yeah, he was like...
People are traveling to him. The whole conceit is about what a holiday can do to the dynamics.
No, I'm beginning to think Gene Siskel's never seen a movie.
So we've had 2 vacation movies with them on a trip.
Right.
The point of the 3rd one was they're not on a trip. That's the point.
They're not on a trip.
Yeah.
Well, and it opens with them on a trip.
Yeah.
It does open with them on the road.
Yeah, that's true. On the road with a classic. Yeah. And as for the attic scene, yeah, there's some very, Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton, obvious. But the reason that scene is important is he finds the old films and he watches those Christmases with the people that are there visiting, who he's complaining about. But he's watching these movies saying, oh, no, look, this was beautiful. These people are so glad. That was the problem. But I guess Gene only saw like boards hitting his Roger's like, it was a pointless scene. No, it brought the humanity back for Clark. He was starting to lose it.
There were a lot of subtle, not gags, not laugh out loud humor bits sprinkled throughout with the in-laws, just with the family, the core family as a whole. I'll get to those throughout. It wasn't quite the laugh fest as the first 2, but subtle, heartwarming Christmas humor.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is supposed to be heartwarming because it's a holiday movie.
And I mean it definitely it's a little less edgy than the first 2. The first 2 were both R-rated. This was PG-13. And it's that you can feel it. Like he was aiming towards a little more family friendly this time. You can definitely see it. But also, I kind of see the point with the parents. There wasn't a whole lot of differentiation in the characters, but the dads, I think there were. With the moms.
Well, and Sorry, go ahead.
I was
With
just saying the moms were basically interchangeable, but with the dads, like one was the nice guy dad and the other was the in-law who doesn't like him. But they didn't get much to do.
That was also subtext, though. Like behind every man is a capable woman, kind of thing. And so, his mom, her mom, Ellen, they're less wacky, for lack of a better word. But if all of them were more wacky, like Gene and Roger wanted, it would not be believable. This is believable when you think it's a good idea to invite your family to your home for a holiday because you're thinking of all the beauty of it. And then you see the dynamics of you don't get to choose your family. You have to deal with your family.
It's been quite a few years since I watched this, and what the parents really reminded me of and what I kept thinking of throughout this film is the in-laws coming in 16 candles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very similar.
And in that, like you said, that was rated differently. So some of the comments were crude, like her grandpa noticing her boobies and stuff. But yeah, John Hughes was good at writing that generation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's who he grew up under.
From the perspective of young people too.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Absolutely.
How weird and creepy they are. Right down to if you rub my foot, you'll get a quarter. He's already thinking of how he can get out of that. It's very natural. It's not meant to be wacky like the first. Al is right. Why would you do the same thing twice? And,
3 times.
And then a third time. Yeah.
I'm going to just go for it here because I don't know if we're going to recognize when we get to it. But one of the things that made me laugh the most was the grandpa laying in the bed reading Sassy magazine.
Yes.
By flashlight while his wife slept.
Yes.
And the other grandpa is staring at that poster on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
The grandparents in the teen rooms was funny.
Yes.
They mined that for a lot of really good jokes.
And if you've ever had to give up your room for an adult relative, it's such a bummer.
I'm sleeping with my brother.
Yeah. I'm a teenage girl sleeping with my middle school age brother. This is gross.
He said I couldn't come to the phone because I was in the bathroom.
So, all right, you guys ready to jump into the movie?
Yeah.
Play ball.
Play ball. Yeah, again, still.
All right, this is Christmas Vacation. We open with an animated credit sequence. I'm kind of glad that this has fallen out of fashion because I find them to be a little bit tedious personally.
But it's an homage to classic Christmas stuff.
The specials,
the stop motion, the specials, Peanuts, that kind of thing. Guardians of the Galaxy. We just had the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special open with rotoscope animation.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's a Christmas thing.
It is.
It's a good point.
Did we get our first ever shot of Santa's butt crack?
Well, maybe yours.
Yeah, I mean, I stay up. I make the cookies special for Santa.
I saw Mommy fisting Santa Claus.
Oh God!
I said what I said.
My God!
It's a great Mavis Staple. She's singing the song, which is awesome. Mavis Staple.
Yeah.
Cool that they have an explainer song.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was. It's no Holiday Road, but they couldn't do Holiday Road because that's about traveling.
Yeah. That was for the people like Gene, but Gene wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they cut to the Griswolds. They're driving out to get a Christmas tree out in the woods. I don't think you can just go cut down trees. I don't think that's allowed.
I mean, not with that attitude.
Or in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, they're a couple of hours
out
of Chicago, right? Don't they say that we're a couple of hours?
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
But I still don't think you're allowed to just go find a tree and cut it down.
The largest one.
No,
do the Griswolds do anything they're allowed to do, though?
I feel like they were on their way to that Christmas tree lot. And then he was just disgusted with all their trees. Like they weren't good enough. He wanted that perfect tree. So they trekked out into the woods.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hence why he doesn't have a saw.
I bet there was a scene cut out of them being at the lot and him not liking any of them.
But that does explain the lack of Saw.
Yeah. So yeah, there's hijinks. Of course, Griswold family hijinks.
Highway hijinks.
Yeah, with the attitude of a dad. Like, I'm not going to put up with
that white boomer dad attitude.
Yeah. Don't let anyone pass you because it's a sign of aggression.
Yeah. Exactly.
They must be passed back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get the tree. Apparently he had shovels though, I guess, because they dig it up and strap it to the car.
Yeah, that's always been the question.
They just rocked it back and forth until it came out.
This giant fucking tree with a stout trunk.
I just love that they move right past all of the logistics of how you would get that tree out of the ground.
Yes, which is brilliant. Why would you waste time with that? It's funnier to imagine Clark's ingenuity.
Yes. Unnecessary ingenuity. It would probably have been far simpler to go.
And in the first one, Ellen said, "Are you happy, Clark? She's deaf." After the gunfight, the second one is, "Are you happy now, Clark? She's dead." And in this one, her eyes, if she's blind.
Yes.
Her eyes are frozen. She can't see the tree. Her eyes are frozen.
Her eyes are frozen. She'll see it later.
Yeah.
We cut back to their house. The next door neighbors are arriving home. They don't like the Griswolds, and they mock Clark for the tree he chose.
I love the. I'll. What does he say? I'll show you where I can put it.
Bend over and I'll show you where I can put it.
Not to you.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to you.
Just the slow pan to her character,
and then
the husband says nothing.
Then he silently lowers his hockey mask and raises the tank above his head.
Yeah, like no, Leatherface style.
Yeah. That's some big dick energy.
No,
right there.
Say what you will. Chevy Chase is a master of physical comedy.
Yes, he is. Even today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird that they were harping on this being full of just slapstick comedy. I don't know what
Chevy Chase.
else you would get.
He got famous on Saturday Night Live for falling downstairs.
Right.
Yeah. That was his first bit.
And that was his Gerald Ford impression.
Yes. His only impression was saying, "Hello, I'm Gerald Ford," and falling down the stairs.
It's still so funny, though. To this day, that holds up.
Absolutely.
It was my understanding there would be no math in a debate.
So they put up the tree in the living room. It's pretty big.
Which reminds me, I'm sorry, a pretty funny line is when they're still at the field and Johnny Galecki's like, that won't even fit in our yard, Dad. It's not going in our yard, Russ.
Yeah. That night in bed, we get all this stuff with the sap.
Little full, a lot of sap.
A lot of sap.
Classic Chevy.
Yeah. Clark and Ellen talk about how both their families are coming for Christmas and how important a big family Christmas is to Clark. Then the next day at work, Clark tells his coworker how important his Christmas bonus is, as he's already paid for a swimming pool to be installed at his house.
Yep.
Now,
the deposit.
The down payment. Only the down payment.
Just the down payment. But also, okay, so this is
But it was all he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is some
7,500.
Was that it?
7,500.
Yeah. This is some classic John Hughes like we're not rich. We're just living these giant houses in the suburbs of Chicago kind of
this is
Home Alone shit.
Widest middle class plot element ever. And when like Christmas Story, they're like struggling to feed the family.
Yeah. And this one, he's struggling to pay for the pool. This is some real 1980s, like boomer economy type story stuff for sure. Yeah. So, we meet his boss who's mean and out of touch, but Clark did make some sort of thing for cereal to keep it crunchy.
It's a non-nutritive cereal varnish.
It's edible varnish is what he invented. Yes.
It keeps the cornflakes from getting soggy.
Yep.
Even in the first one, he says he's in additives, not preservatives.
Then we cut to Clark shopping for Ellen. He's doing a bit. He's doing a classic Chevy Chase. He finds a girl attractive bit.
Yep.
He does a lot of those throughout the years.
That to me is the one thing in these movies that, yes, is a mainstay, but God, it does not age well.
Jude was just absolutely baffled by this. And he's like, why do they always do this in these old movies? Like, did men just never see boobs? And I was like, kinda.
Because it's not funny now, but I get the humor of like puritanical whatever values, but God, it just ages so weird.
I don't know. In these particular movies, I think it has more to do with Clark than the exploitation, like the weird way married men act around other women they find attractive.
Yeah. Well, and just like the hypersexualized nature of men's brains.
Right.
Also.
Well, I mean,
married men's brains.
Yeah. Married men's brains.
Yes. And
speaking as a single man.
Hey,
the nervousness
back
comes
off,
from
guys.
No, the nervousness comes from
Well, yeah. No. For me, if I'm around an attractive woman and Moon's there, the nervousness comes from don't do anything that makes it seem like I'm attracted to her.
Do anything.
I'm not. Like, it's fine. Like, there's no like actual danger here, but I have to make sure I don't look at the wrong place.
Luckily, I'm reaching the age officially where my wife's like, nobody wants that.
Well, no. Don't get me wrong. Moon isn't threatened. I would just have to get shit about it for months. Like, remember those boobs you looked at? Yeah, I remember.
I sure do.
Sometimes it's worth
locked him away in the old spank bank.
Yep, like we used to have to do.
Yeah, but no, it comes from a time where you couldn't you didn't have access to looking at boobs in your pocket at every second.
Yes. Yeah.
So back at home, the family arrives. Chaos ensues.
Wait, was that a lingerie kiosk, by the way?
I mean, it was a department.
It was a counter in a department store,
like a classic kind of JCPenney department store.
A lingerie counter.
Yeah, because he bought her a bra for Christmas for some reason, which is a weird thing. That's okay. Yeah, let's unpack that. That's a weird present to get for your wife for Christmas, unless she specifically asked for a specific bra. That's a weird thing to get her.
It's kind of like buying your wife a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I've had to buy underwear for my wife. I mean,
was it a gift?
Yeah,
and a bra is not a matching set of something cute.
He bought her one bra, and it wasn't like that sexy. Like, it didn't feel like
a bra is more of a functional
I think he nervously bought that bra. I think after
when Russ saw
when Rusty. Okay, that makes a lot more sense actually.
And after all of his awkward innuendo that he could not quite explain,
that's right, because he never
just wrap it up.
Because he never even gave it to her. He was hiding it so he wouldn't so she wouldn't see it, and then he hung it on the tree later. Oh my God, that makes so much more sense. Okay,
So one of my favorite parts of this whole interaction is when she says her name is Mary, and he goes, "No shit."
No shit.
That's the one moment where I'm like, you know what? Maybe he could spark an affair with this conversation, because that was relatively smooth.
That was funny. Yeah. No, let's not forget Chevy played a ladies' man often,
and he's a good-looking dude for the time. He's tall.
He's a handsome guy.
Smiley. He's funny.
He had that weird leathery thing that chicks dug in the 70s and 80s. I guess they probably still do dig it, but I don't know. We don't see movie stars with it anymore. They're all buff.
He spends his summer on a sailboat.
Yeah.
So you were saying the in-laws arrive. I just want to point out the mini scene before they do, that the family is all occupied by themselves in very peaceful relaxation. Mm-hmm. I love that Clark's pretending to wear the beard in front of the mirror. That's adorable. But almost like a dog whistle or a premonition, people in the house start to be like, looking around, and then they descend. It's just a great moment of the peaceful calm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the doorbell ringing, and then it slows down.
Mm-hmm.
The doorbell slows down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ominously.
Yeah. So, then Clark and Rusty begin putting up the Christmas lights on the outside of the house. We get Chevy Chase doing physical bits for about 10 minutes. They eventually get it done, and that
the neighbors make a comment that they want to. Was it Margot? I wish that he would fall and break his neck, and Todd is like, or vice versa. It's like, oh, he'll definitely fall, but we're not lucky enough for him to break his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he slides down the ladder, he does that like look around thing to make sure nobody saw him, and then he does this, all right, I got this. Yeah.
So that night, he tries to plug the lights in, but they don't turn on, and Clark can't figure out why. Then we get the whole bits with them sleeping, Russ and Audrey having to sleep together. The next day, while hiding the bra in the attic, Clark gets locked in the attic all day while the family goes out shopping. He spends his time watching old films of childhood Christmases from the 50s. That night, between himself and Ellen, they accidentally...
I'm sorry. One of my favorite subtle gags was he's hiding the presents. I thought he was hiding them not to... He was just hiding them from the family. Like, these are Santa's gifts that are going to come down. But he finds the little package that says Happy Mother's Day, 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. No. After Josh pointing out that he bought the bra in a panic and wasn't intending to give it to Ellen, it makes all of those bits make much more sense. I wonder what sales girl he was flirting with in 1983 that he had to buy something from.
Yeah.
So they there's the whole bit with getting the Christmas lights working with the switch in the laundry room or the back room, whatever that is.
Garage, utility room.
Yeah.
And of course, Ellen figures it out.
Yeah, of course. Clark's overjoyed. The family's impressed. However, then Cousin Eddie and his family show up.
Hang on. Bit of trivia. When the lights went on and off a couple of times and he couldn't get it to work, he starts beating up the Santa and the reindeer.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that part. I love it.
He punched He punched the Santa and he actually broke one of his fingers.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he started like kicking more. But they kept that take.
It's so hilarious, though, to start by punching the little plastic Santa in the face. Good for him.
Did they cut those pieces of the reindeer apart so it would fall apart as easily as they did?
I imagine.
They crumbled on impact.
I imagine after he broke his finger, they were like, let's make this a little easier on
him. Yeah. And he starts doing the kind of sputtering Clark thing that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
75% of this movie was Chevy Chase going,
So from here on, his reactions and interactions with Eddie are some of his best.
Yes.
Some of Chevy's best.
Clark and Eddie.
So sincere.
Clark and Eddie is an incredible comic pairing. Incredible. Yeah. They're there in an RV, which they drove from Kansas. Meanwhile, back at his job, Clark still hasn't gotten his Christmas bonus. He's starting to get worried. Then they go sledding. Clark applies a super slick cooking oil. It makes him go too fast. And Chevy Chase does a lot of whoa for a while.
Oh, I love it. And Eddie's like, I got this plate and blah, blah, blah. You think it'd make a difference, Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, if this it goes right under my part. So if it gets dented, my hair is just going to look weird. I liked how in the previous scene, they mentioned the daughter and son, Eddie's daughter and son from the previous movie.
They did.
From the Verse Vacation, that the girl's in the clinic for
drugs,
wild turkey. That's what.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And the son is training for his career in the carnival.
Yeah, they didn't like swap out the kids like they did with Russ and Audrey. They were the actual still real.
Well,
kids.
and in Vegas Vacation, the older blonde who was played by what's her name, Jane Krakowski, she's a stripper now in Vegas Vacation. That's the same blonde character. But yeah, totally. And in the first one, Catherine is pregnant, and she's Eddie says I can quit one of my jobs when the third baby's born. So yeah, they just keep making them.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Rubber sheets and gerbils.
Yeah. So amorous. Yeah, that goes under the radar there. Remember the gerbil thing?
Oh, it was a thing.
Richard Gere, right?
That was.
I believe that's the first time I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard it from. Yeah, it was Richard.
And then
Gere.
Obviously pop culture adopted it somewhere.
Then there was a after Richard, there was someone else after Richard Gere. I feel like it was like Pee Wee Herman or something because of the jerking off. I don't remember. There was someone else, but yeah, Richard Gere was the first. But yeah, so then that night, Clark fantasizes about his pool.
Okay, so Eddie incepts him.
Yes, he does.
Right? He's looking at his own fantasy, his own version of perfection. Then it's ruined by Eddie entering the fantasy, which happens to all of us. Like, oh, damn, it just got ruined by this.
Yeah.
But he acknowledges Clark and waves at him. So in his own fantasy, not only is Eddie there to foil it, he's aware of Clark dreaming.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's Inception. That's crazy.
Yeah. So he has a heart-to-heart with Eddie's daughter about Santa.
And about not saying bricks.
Yeah, that bit is that's the line that I remember the most from the movie over the years. He's shit bricks. Hey, we shouldn't say that word. Sorry, shit rocks.
Yeah. And Andrew brought something up. She's a little incredulous about that joke, but I kind of thought of it as like she sees Clark as very smart and very learned and all that shit. So she assumes that she used brick incorrectly, that Clark is so smart that he's like, no, what you want to say is rocks. Shitting is the only word she's ever heard.
Yes.
For going to the bathroom. Maybe I made that up, but it's fun.
It makes sense.
Shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
Yeah. Shitting. Got to take a shit.
Yeah.
Shitting. He's shitting. We're shitting.
To shit. The verb. Conjugate. The verb to shit.
Or not to shit.
That's the question.
I shat.
I shot. Therefore,
shit.
I came. I shat. I conquered.
Shit. Shat. Shunk.
Shunk.
To have shunk. So the next one.
He finds out they have no Christmas, and that they were flat out told there was no Christmas.
Yeah.
But there wasn't one the year before either.
Yeah, they didn't get squat last year, and they're worried that Santa isn't coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And Clark, the eternal father, huge heart, idealist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's troubled by that.
Yeah.
Not mad at Eddie, troubled by it.
Yeah, exactly. The next morning, Eddie dumps his chemical toilet into the sewer. He and Ellen agree to help Eddie out with buying his kids Christmas presents. We learn.
Yeah, there he is. I love that he's constantly picking through the trash that Clark has put out there to see what's usable.
Yeah.
It comes up later, but yeah.
I love the bit where they're walking through and he keeps putting more and more dog food on in the cart.
Yeah.
And Clark puts something down on top of it, and Eddie just drops another bag of dog food and crushes it. Yeah.
And this is before the conversation of Clark's going to help them out.
Yeah.
So, Eddie's just assumed we're at the grocery store, we're at the Walmart,
We're going to buy
I'm getting my groceries.
40 pounds of dog food.
But even if he could afford it, nothing for the kids.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh, he did mention when he introduced Snots that he was the pride and joy of the family.
Yeah.
Yep. Mississippi leg hound.
So yeah.
Mississippi.
That night, it's Christmas Eve. Ellen's elderly relatives, Aunt Bethany and Uncle Lewis, arrive.
No, those are Clark's. Because Uncle Lewis is even in the old photos.
Oh,
he's the one that slaps Clark's hand.
That's right. Those are
Clark's mom comforts him.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Because Eddie and Catherine are on Ellen's side. The aunt and uncle are on his.
That's
anyway.
right. Okay. Yeah. So Bethany wrapped up her cat as a present. They have a big Christmas Eve dinner with a turkey. Turkey's a little dry.
That turkey is straight out of a horror movie.
Oh, yeah. So gross.
It looked like
it was a Stan Winston effect.
Yeah.
You know it was.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. And Aunt Bethany says the blessing. The blessing. And of course, it's the Pledge of Allegiance. It's just so
Grace died 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie's standing up and putting his hand over his
and we were watching it where you're like, is there really a difference? You know, like, you might as well get up and recite that. What's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
So is this the movie that inspired people to start saying amen after the Pledge of Allegiance?
Perhaps. All those people that think Jesus wrote it.
It's I don't know. Whenever I hear "May the Force be with you," I always think, "and also with you." So yeah, let's see. The cat gets electrocuted by chewing through Christmas lights. And then
the cat's dead, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
cat
cat
is so dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Then, if it had 9 lives, it used all of them up.
Yes.
Yep. And Eddie thinks the chair is salvageable.
Yeah. Do you mind, Clark? Uncle Lewis burns down the Christmas tree by lighting up a stogie near it.
And it's dry because Snots drank all the water out, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
So the tree was extra dry.
Yeah. Went up like a match. A delivery guy arrives. Delivery guy was strangely funny. Hello, Mr. Grizz. Here you go.
No, John Hughes writes delivery guys really well. Think of the pizza guy in Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets freaked out by that tape. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So
he feels he's so sincere and earnest when he feels bad.
Yeah.
It fell and I missed it and I'm sorry.
So yeah, he gives Clark his bonus. Clark tells the family about the pool and then opens the bonus, which was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And it's a membership to Jelly of the Month Club. Or was it Jam of the Month Club?
Jelly, I think.
Jelly. I'd rather have Jam personally, but that's.
And in every movie, Clark has to be pushed to his brink. Like there has to be an event that finally makes the mild-mannered guy snap.
Yep, pushes him over the edge. The Wally world.
He goes on a tirade
of
nonsensical insults.
He loses it, freaks out, goes on a rant about his boss and how he'd like him to be brought there so he can tell him off. Eddie takes him at his word and heads out. Meanwhile, Clark goes outside to cut down a tree.
I love the setup, though, of Eddie taking him completely literal.
Yeah.
And leaving and being out of the next couple of scenes. It's such a great way to establish that, like, things are getting a little bit better.
Also, Eddie's thinking, oh, wait, that's a gift I can afford.
Yeah. No, and
kidnapping is free.
And Eddie legitimately... Oh, you're muted, Josh.
Oh, he loves Clark legitimately and wanted to give him something.
Yeah.
But what I said is essentially Eddie is Drax.
Yeah.
Everything is literal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Clark cuts down the tree from the front yard, I guess. Brings it inside and sets it up. But little does he know there's a squirrel in the tree. Hijinks ensue.
Everyone is terrified of squirrels.
I was thinking, I've never been that scared of a squirrel.
I had one get in my house, and it is a panicky situation. I wasn't necessarily afraid of the squirrel, but he was knocking everything over.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong.
But yeah, they're fearful. I love Clark's mom. just dead on the ground, just face down on the carpet. Mom, are you okay? She's just laying on the carpet.
One time, the worst I ever, the most panicked I've ever been over an animal like that is, so we had a little grape arbor thing in our yard in Wisconsin, and it was next to a big tree. And one night I came in, and the path from the street to our back door went right past it. I was walking and I heard some rustling, and I look up and there was a possum about 2 feet from me. And like I yelled and the possum yelled, and we both went opposite directions.
Oh, nature.
Yeah. Coming face to face with a possum is fucking freaky, man.
It's the unexpected element more than the danger of the animal.
And possums constantly have like resting attack face. They're always just looking like
resting attack.
So all right. So let's see. Eddie arrives back at the house with Clark's boss. He's confronted about canceling the Christmas bonuses. Frank, that's the name of the character Brian Doyle Murray plays.
Frank Shirley.
Yeah, Frank Shirley. So Frank starts to feel bad about the bonuses. Meanwhile, Frank's wife calls the police, and a SWAT team shows up at the Griswold house.
And again, when CEOs were bad guys.
Yes.
Now we sort of worship them, but
weirdly, yes.
Frank Shirley says he says whatever bonus you got last year, add 20%.
Yeah, and that's
which
apparently
now
a
makes
lot.
makes Clark faint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if the deposit on the pool was $7,000, then the pool itself has got to be so that bonus was hefty.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never gotten a Christmas bonus more than like $150.
Yeah, I've only gotten $100 and a turkey from Clear Channel.
But the dude's been there 17 years, and he just made an innovative product that didn't exist anywhere else, and his boss brought it to trade shows.
So is he?
And then he got Jelly of the Month. He works with additives, not preservatives.
I think he must be some sort of chemical.
Or is he a manager of a chemical engineering team?
He invented that varnish.
Okay,
they make it pretty clear. Yeah.
I mean, he may be in charge of his department. He may have a couple other chemists under him, but I think he definitely has a background in chemistry. He can afford those John Hughes Chicago suburb houses.
He makes. And
Homer works in a nuclear power plant.
Fair.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's that idea of dad goes to work.
Yeah.
We don't really know what dad does.
Exactly. Oh, what's funny is I have one of those jobs. I don't know. He does computer things.
Do you know what you do?
Yeah.
What do they make at that factory? All you ever say is
it's just a business factory.
Yeah.
Business factory. Yeah.
I did
big vats of business.
Yeah. I was at the business factory. I made a business. The SWAT team shows up along with Helen. They explain it was all a big misunderstanding. Gotta love the SWAT team could be like, shucks.
It happened at the end of
the wife, when he admits that he cut the bonuses, he's like, remember I was toying around with not giving bonuses? She's like, no, you didn't. And then the police chief, if I had a rubber hose.
Yeah, which is hilarious. But when they say freeze, everyone literally freezes in the position they're in. Even Frank Shirley's facing the wrong way. Yes. And of course, Ellen is holding Clark's crotch for whatever.
And then goes back to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and the SWAT team freezes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until he tells them not to.
Not you guys. Yeah.
That's great. Everyone takes the literal command.
Yeah. So then Ruby Sue sees what she believes is Santa in the sky.
But it's a satellite.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was the light from the sewage treatment plant.
That. Yes.
As Uncle Lewis points out, which reminds Clark that the sewage.
Also, I promise you cannot see that many stars in the greater Chicago area, the tri-state area. Yeah,
one of the tallest buildings in the world.
The sky is a constant kind of like orangey haze at night. You will never see those stars.
So then, like I was saying, Uncle Lewis blows, causes an explosion, which makes the fucked up Santa and reindeer fly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and
that's where, Bethany
starts singing the Star Spangled Banner.
And then again, everyone joins in, some with their hands on their heart.
Yes.
And then, of course, the most adorable, the play ball. That's now a Christmas thing to me.
So Clark looks into the distance as credits roll, and he
Snots begs for attention.
Yep, and he pets Snots. Yep, that's it. That's Christmas Vacation.
I love it. I think it works in every way it's trying to work.
I didn't get to watch this as a kid. Any of these movies, these were a little too edgy for my family. So I've only seen these as an adult. But thinking about watching this as a kid, it's interesting. Some of these jokes are a little extreme.
I was already like a preteen age, like when this one came out. So it wasn't one I watched as much. But the first two, as a kid, I watched a lot.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with the first two for sure, because those were movies I watched with friends because they were, you could see boobs in them or whatever.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely watched the first two more, but this one came in the rotation here and there. It was a beloved one for me. It's not like Vegas.
My grandma loved it. I watched it with her all the time. It has a special place in my heart. It's a fun Christmas movie.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's still the third best, in my opinion, third best vacation movie.
Yeah. And I don't know, I grew up with a fairly large family, and not so much now, but, I totally remember packs of relatives just invading the home for a holiday and, having to sleep on the floor and shit like that because people got my bed.
We were the relatives that went to the house.
Yeah, I was often as well. Yeah, that's a good point.
I remember
I know that vibe.
I remember sleeping in rumpus rooms as a kid, so quite a bit.
Or the feeling as a kid of being excited. Oh, visitors come. Oh, I can't wait to see all them. And then instantaneously wanting them all to leave as a kid,
Yeah.
And then, Eddie reveals they're staying for a month.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's at least a month. He doesn't have anything to go home to, really.
He lost his house. Yeah.
So
did they steal that RV?
No, he traded it for the house.
Oh, I thought he stole it when the house got taken.
Yeah, I mean, the house was taken. He just doesn't say that, but it was.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe somebody.
Because he might be dumb, but I don't think he's dumb enough to trade his RV for a brick and mortar house.
No, he didn't.
But I think he's dumb enough to steal the guy who's evicting him to steal his RV.
Yeah, I guess it's a little unclear. It seemed like that was definitely all he had left, but yeah.
Oh, he did still have the worm farm, he mentioned.
That's right, the worm
Yeah, I remember that.
But not the house.
Yeah. 50 square feet, which is not a lot. That's not big. Christmas vacation. Yeah, so let's rank it. It's number 3, right, in the vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
Which we may get to the rest of vacation movies at some point. It is a series. We'll pop this baby back into the feed if we ever do,
or even do National Lampoon movies.
Yeah. There's a number of National Lampoon movies that are.
Which, like Brian said, if you were younger, you might not have noticed it, but just seeing National Lampoons, we knew it was going to be a little
It was going to be R. It was going to be a pretty hard R. There.
I mean, I grew up sneaking that magazine and reading National Lampoon a lot. Like, so you knew it was going to be a little racist.
Yeah, you knew that for especially the 70s and early 80s ones, there was going to be some stuff that's considered rapey now. Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
And on that note,
Christmas. I loved it. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, I'm good. That was fun.
Yeah. I'll always love Christmas Vacation. I always love all the vacation movies, except for the one with Ed Helms.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. There was Ed plays Rusty. Brian's looking confused. Ed Helms plays Rusty, and it was like a soft reboot. And Rusty and his family.
2016?
Yeah. Rusty and his family go on vacation, and Chevy and Beverly D'Angelo have a cameo in the beginning.
A cameo, yeah.
Why does that exist? That's dumb.
They were trying to reboot the series.
I guess
the wife was Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
And there was one where, like, Eddie got trapped on a deserted island.
Oh, that's right. There was a Cousin Eddie spinoff one. I forgot about that.
And I do like Vegas Vacation. The low rent casino they go to, with games like Guess the Number, or like Fall Under the Cup.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I talk shit about Vegas Vacation, but it's not bad. It's still like a decently funny
Papa Giorgio.
Yeah. It's not like the first three, but it's not terrible.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. So, all right. That's it for Christmas Vacation, which means it's time to decide what next week's Christmas movie is. And Al is going to be the one who tells us what it is.
I am. And a bit of a departure from what we've seen for the first two offerings. I'm going to go with Edward Scissorhands.
Ooh.
Nice. I can fuck with that for sure.
Fuck yeah. Edward Scissorhands. Nice. I was briefly considering Nightmare Before Christmas, but I didn't. That's not the one I'm going to do.
Wait, can we watch the porn parody, Edward Dildo Hands? It's out there.
Yes.
I have it on cassette and DVD.
On cassette. I hope it's audio cassette.
Yeah, it's a book on tape.
I buy it in any format I can find.
A book on tape.
You could even watch the Kramer version, Edward Shoehorn Hands.
Edward Scissorhands. That will be next week's movie. So until then, thanks for hanging out with us on Holiday Phosphorescence. This has been your host, Rose Smiley, and I'm just wondering if I can get you some eggnog or drive you out to the middle of nowhere and leave you for dead.
I'm good, Clark. I'm Josh Cece, and Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I think it'd be best if everyone just went home before anything got worse.
I'm Alec Weber, and I got you three a subscription to the Movie Podcast of the Month Club at Harmless Entertainment.
Aw, shucks,
Yes, I hope it's ours.
Are you putting money in your own pocket, Al?
You're actually losing money because Patreon takes a cut.
His own patronage.
We'll see you next.
I basically got you something you already have.
That's free real estate.
I want to have an old school PBS telethon.
Where we stay up for 48 hours.
In front of
Jerry
Rotary.
Lewis on the horn.
Yeah, just random acts that we find around town, jugglers and whatnot.
Have like some footage of Yanni playing at the Parthenon.
Couple of mimes.
Yeah. Here's what you were missing.
Yeah.
Art Garfunkel.
Just Art Garfunkel.
Like, are you going to sing? No. I'm going to do my one-man show.
Brought to you by the Carnegie.
Called Garfunkel and Funkle. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.